Hello, hello, it is the Trading Captain. I'm currently sitting up $13.03 on the day. Now, as you can see here, I took 3 trades, not that many, and the reality is today was kind of a dud. We didn't really have much opportunity. The moves that did happen, they had relatively low volume. We had a couple instances where it was interesting, but I just didn't really feel like pulling the trigger. So to go ahead and go over them, first we have ATHA. This is the first stock I was really looking at, and it did look good. The fact that we had this very big top and tail, it wasn't actually a big deal to me because I was looking at the relative volume, and you can see that the volume had dropped off very significantly for this candle, and the follow-up resolution that pushed back up had much higher volume. So this gave me conviction that the move was returning, and I didn't really worry too much about this topping tail. So I ended up getting in here at around the 670s level, and I was really looking for a push through 7, maybe up towards 740, 750, 780, somewhere in that range. And we didn't get it. We ended up struggling around this 725 area, and I was holding for a breakout to see if we would follow through, because 7 looked like it was holding, but it ultimately ended up rolling over, and I ended up stopping out for roughly a small winner of $7. Okay trade, but it was very strange to see that this stock, the rest of the morning, just kind of went sideways. This is very weird, and especially given how low of a float this is not very common. So, worth noting, but I don't really have a conclusion to draw to it other than not to engage with it when it does this, because this is behavior that I do not understand. So, moving on, we have a couple other stocks that were moving. SNGX had news, didn't really resolve well, volume was quite light, wasn't interested. We had EVTV, this was one sold off very hard. This is one that was popping up, but it was a lower price. I didn't really like the price action with it either, so I ended up not touching it. I'm very surprised to see how much this rolled over. And lastly, we had the other stock that I traded, WKSP. This was one where it had news, popped up, very, very massive rejection. I ended up buying for this bounce here. Did get a decent resolution, though I was about 10 cents from the bottom. That's why my first trade on it didn't really resolve well. Even though I really got what I was looking for, my entry was just a little bit too high. I got in at 237. I think the bottom was around 227. Yeah, 227. So I didn't really catch the bottom of this very well, so got about half of really the profits I was looking for. For the next attempt, I saw that we returned very quickly down on low volume, so I was willing to take a second attempt at this for a curl. However, seeing that it bounced and was retesting this area, I was getting a bit worried that we were at a triple bottom setup. Didn't really want to stay with the trade at that point, so I ended up cutting it here. We did get a bit of a bounce before eventually actually rugging, so my ultimate call was correct, but I got the timing a little off. And the reality is that this was a very difficult one to find an edge on, because this thing kind of just collapsed, right? You just had this random spike into a random flush, and then just rolled over. So not really easy to trade this one, so I'm not really upset that I didn't do that well with it. Overall, we didn't really have any other big movers. We had PAVS, this one's worth mentioning, reverse split. It ended up curling here around the time I was getting off for the day, but whenever we were looking at it, I was watching it as it was pulling back here. I thought the move might have been over, so I just stopped trading it for the day and called it. And yeah, that's pretty much the end of what happened. Nothing too crazy other than that. Like I said, only took 3 trades. They were very small winners, nothing too crazy. And yeah, not a lot of opportunities either. So even though I didn't trade much, I didn't really miss out on too much either. But yeah, that pretty much wraps up the recap. If you like what you saw here, please do leave a like, helps me out. I stream every day from 7 a.m. till 9 a.m. EST, so you can check out the channel if you want to see me live. And I will be back tomorrow. Take care.